Hello and welcome to another episode of Homecare Hot Seat. Today I'm joined by Claire Simmons, co-founder of In Home Care, a fast-growing domiciliary care business based in Hampshire. So welcome Claire, thank you so much for joining me today, really appreciate it. So I just wanted to start by asking you about your background really. You founded the company In Home Care in 2011. What inspired you to enter the home care sector and open your own business? Because you didn't have a care background, did you?
Correct. That's scary in itself, isn't it? So basically, Paul and myself were in business together, and we were working with helping people in debt in the UK and companies in debt in the UK. During this time, we were working in Whiteley near Southampton, and I remember Paul's mum had been moved to probably around about 10 different nursing homes. She had dementia. She had they didn't have her power of attorney for her health, only her wealth. And that was quite a big thing. And I didn't have a clue about power of attorney over health/wealth. So he came back to the office one day and was very upset. His mum had just been moved by 50 miles away into a nursing home. And I suddenly just sort of pushed my chair back and said to Paul, so tell me, what actually happens then in this nursing home? Tell me all about it, because I don't really understand it. I've never had anyone in care in a nursing home. I don't know anything about it, tell me. And he's like, well, mum's got dementia. Okay. Yeah, mum's been moved to a nursing home. What has she got with her? Where's all her stuff gone? Where's her home? Where's her memories? Like the trips that she went to Rome, or she's been married. She had a relationship with your father. They met. All of the memories that are made in a lifetime. Where did they go?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, mum's just walked into the nursing home with a suitcase and a portable television. And I think I was just incredibly shocked that somebody who was already very mentally unable to put everything in order then moved to somewhere you have no clue about, with a lot of people that may be very kind but don't know you and don't know anything about you, with a suitcase and a portable television, and that's how you end your life. And at the same sort of time as this, my father-in-law, who lived on the same road as me, still does, his wife, who was quite young really, she was just under 70, and she had developed breast cancer, which then developed into bone cancer. It was horrible, really, really terrible. She didn't want to go into a hospice. She didn't want to go into a nursing home. She wanted to pass away at home, surrounded by her family and the things that she loved. And Roger, who was looking after her husband of many, many years, was doing all the caring. Marion wasn't sleeping at night. She was literally not able to get upstairs at all. Mm-hmm. So she was only in her armchair the whole time. And I was just viewing it from somebody who was a complete, didn't have a clue about home care at this point in my life. Didn't want her family to offer personal care, which is understandable. I don't think I would, to be honest. And Roger was then obviously very emotionally drained. He was very upset, and he was looking after her in the evenings and at night time, which she wasn't sleeping. There was no facility from the social services because he had too much money. And obviously now we know about continuing healthcare, we would have pushed for that, but we didn't know about it. Nobody told us, and the district nurses did not offer any regular help. They would do the odd night cover, but that was kind of us begging, can we please have somebody stay over for the evening? So yeah, we were in that sort of situation, and then within our own business we came across a care company, actually two care companies, that were looking to go insolvent, and we had to help them. And one was a live-in and a home care, hourly home care business, and we helped them go through the process, and it really shocked me that people in care that had been going since the 1970s lacked so much empathy for their carers or their clients. I was really upset about that. At the same time, I was also incredibly surprised that home care existed. It was a thing, like you could buy in cleaning, you can buy in home care. We didn't know that. We hadn't got a clue. We came away from that meeting driving back down the M27 at 10:30 at night, and I said to Paul, we need to start a care company. And he was like, no way, we can't do this. Too busy as we are. And I was like, I just felt we had to do something. And that's how we sort of ended up having
like a calling almost then.
It was a calling. It was 100%. It was kind of, I just knew what to do. Paul and I worked really well together, and he's amazing at a lot of things that I'm not amazing at. So we work as a real good team. His weaknesses are my strengths and vice versa. So together we forged ahead. Originally we had 3 directors, who one of them did have a little bit more knowledge of the care industry. However, that didn't work out at all. So we did it ourselves, and here we are.
So you initially opened 3 branches, but it wasn't until last year that you started franchising. And so what was it about last year that made you think, oh, this is the right time for us?
Okay, so basically we started with the end in mind. When we started, because we're back from a business background, not a care background, we always knew we wanted to build the brand. So we, like I said, we started with the end in mind. We knew we would build. We knew we would do this through franchising. We had previous experience of franchising, and it was something that we felt bringing in other people would be a fantastic thing, with other knowledge, with other skill sets that we can help along the way. So when we started to do this, we knew we would have to set it up properly first, and we wanted to pilot this for ourselves. We would pilot it by opening up branches in different areas to our first one. So we opened in a really sleepy little village, which we learned a lot from. It cost a lot as well, but we actually broke even a lot quicker than our first one. And then we opened in a big cathedral city, again, completely different marketplace. So from all of those areas, we broke even quicker each time, and so we ended up breaking even within 11 months in the last one, which was an improvement on the second one, which was 14 months. So, and the first one was 26 months. So you can see the progress we made, and we were like, okay, we've got it pretty much great now. Constantly improve, obviously. And that was always the plan. We had a fantastic team at that point. Our business was steady, and we felt we had the time to dedicate to helping our franchisees do what we did.
And could you describe that franchising model and what sets it apart from other franchising models in the sector?
Okay, so basically, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I would say that we're pretty unique in as much as we don't have a care background. We didn't have a care background. It's not something we knew we didn't literally know what domiciliary care means, and still think it's a ridiculous word. So we come from a business mindset, but knowing that we weren't preconditioned in any way. We went for the private market only. We didn't look at social services at all. So for the first 3 years, we literally just focused on private because we needed to know that that worked. Our branding is very strong. My background is marketing, sales and marketing. So the branding was very important to us because we needed the people to buy into the brand. To remember the brand when they received a leaflet through the door, or they went on our website. We get a lot of comments about our branding and how much that it means to everybody, even in as much as having our little badges on our lanyards for things that the girls do well or the guys do well. The problem solving, we like to also make sure that we, with regards to problem solving, our franchisees, it's really important to me and Paul, because we spent so many years doing this, is going round and speaking to people who were actually going insolvent through their business. We wanted to make sure that we were putting everything that we'd learned over those years back into in-home care. And so we can bring in all the experience that we learned through the insolvency part of our business as well, to not make the same mistakes as other people made in business. And we dealt with hundreds of businesses.
So you've now sold 7 franchises in the last 18 months. Did you ever anticipate this level of growth? That's because you've grown so quickly.
We're a strong believer in fate as well. We believe that hard work, we want it to be open and honest, and we actually genuinely care. And I think when we speak to our franchisees or our potential franchisees, I think they pick that up from us. They know that we're there with them. They know we're interested in them. And from the very outset, all the way through, we're there with them, for them, the whole way through this process. From, the initial finding the property, we'll be sitting in bed at 11 o'clock at night, sending properties over to our franchisees, going, what do you think about this one? Paul's actually out today looking at a property with one of our franchisees. From, choosing the carpet tiles and finding the best deals, we're really keen on saving people money. Obviously from an insolvency days, as well as don't want to lose money and spend money unwisely. So we put an awful lot of effort in, and I think that we've met some amazing people along the way who just believe in it too and want to join. And our team as well at In-Home Care are phenomenal. They really give the support levels that are required to help support our franchisees.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about revenue growth earlier. You've managed to go from a turnover of 167,000 a year to 2.5 million. Is that right? In 7 years. How did you achieve that?
I know, it's really, right, so really it was like very hard work, long hours, never giving up, even when there was days when Paul and I were like, well, I'm more of an emotional person than Paul. I was like, oh my God, why did we do this? But I think it was never giving up, belief, and just really pushing forward. We never turned a package down. If we could possibly help it, we would take on any package, even if it didn't really make us any money to start with. We just wanted to get our name known and out there, delivering the best service we possibly could to as many people as we possibly could, supporting our carers. I mean, the carers do a phenomenal job, and and our managers as well. It's just really just pushing forward and having the team believe as well. They have to buy into the brand. They have to buy into we're the best, and and they really do buy into that as well. We want to make them feel included. So it's really just team effort.
And how have you found opening new businesses during the pandemic? How challenging has that been for you?
Well, it's actually been okay. Obviously, we've had to make practical changes. i.e. we can't always get in to see properties because obviously estate agents aren't able to show us around. So it's been a lot of virtual, it's been a lot of Zoom, which is fine, and actually it's become the norm, hasn't it, really?
Yeah.
It saves a lot of time, it saves a lot of money. You can speak to more people. You can still do an awful lot. I mean, our girls were, when we first started this, our girls, I say our girls, our guys was 2. We've only got a few guys, about 3 in the whole company. Got 180 staff, but yeah, only a few guys. They were all like, I didn't want to do Zoom. I didn't want to do Zoom, but I think it's actually been, although it's been incredibly difficult for the whole team, very, very challenging circumstances, and we've had an awful lot of, emotions involved, it's actually proven to be a success as far as the franchisees are concerned. We do everything on Zoom. When we get our breaks out of COVID lockdown, we quickly rush around the country and go visit them all. I know that we're doing that in the next week and 2 weeks to go and take, Christmas presents, cards, etc. Check in on everyone. We do weekly Zoom calls as well to our franchisees to check in on them. We have like a next steps list that we work through as well. Training, we use the cloud. So the cloud-based, all the documents are in there, all the policies and procedures. We do a lot of training and learning over the Zoom as well. So apart from not actually being able to physically go and meet our people necessarily in person, we've still done it over Zoom and got to them when we could.
And how have you found the process of recruiting and retaining staff, not just during the pandemic, but since you launched? I mean, was that a surprise for you that it's usually quite a challenge for providers? Did you find that yourselves?
We've had challenges over the years with recruitment. Mostly we find it good. We've got a really good reputation, that really helps. We have a lot of really good care workers, and like attracts like, so our care workers generally recommend to come work for us. And we've even had care workers that have left and come back and said, please give me a job back. I didn't realise, how good I had it here. And the support that the managers and our other directors actually supply to the girls and the guys is second to none, I would say. So recruitment, we also have I designed a smarter way of recruitment. Paul said to me, did you get that off the internet? I was like, no, I didn't, I made it up. I think from my sales and recruitment, sales and marketing background, I kind of understand people, and I understand, how to, recruitment to me is the same as a sale. You're selling a product, and our product is come work for us, please, because we're really nice and we'll really support you and we pay well. And we listen to you, we have an open door policy, we're really transparent in everything we do, and we want them to enjoy working for us, because you know what, it's easier, it's just easier if they're happy. And we want them to be happy. We recognise what they do. We are carer of the month, spot checks, they get the badges, they get little bonuses, £25, etc. Love to shop vouchers. So we're always looking for ways of improving what we do, how we do it, engaging our people into the brand. In fact, a lot of our carers say it's the in-home care family, something we didn't actually design, but they came up with that themselves, and it actually makes me feel really proud that we've got to that level that people actually feel that way. Obviously you can't please all the people all of the time, but we really do try to. Retention, we're much better than I think the norm in the industry. Our retention level is really high. That's
good to hear. And speaking of well-being, you launched your Beautiful Minds program this year to support your staff. Could you tell our listeners a bit about that?
Yeah, so Bo started our, she's our Beautiful Mind champion. Her name is spelled Beau, so obviously that's beautiful. Beautiful Mind Champion. I've known Bo for an awful long time. She used to actually do some cleaning for me many years ago when I was working full time. And she's a really caring person. Now, with carers are very caring naturally. If you get good carers, they're caring. They give a lot, and when you give a lot, you need to you have a lot of emptiness, I suppose, because you're constantly giving. So you're giving to other people all the time, so they need to be able to get something back. And we felt that there was obviously in the COVID period as well, there was an awful lot of people that were sad for maybe no reason particularly, or are worried about COVID, or their families, or even our clients, you know, worrying for our clients that they may be taking COVID into people's homes. Bo is amazing. She loves to listen. She really cares. She came up with this idea that we could help people, mentor people. So she's been on training courses, and she just listens really and supports and offers that, you know, ear to shoulder to lean on. And it's helped an awful lot of our carers get through the COVID period, or getting through the COVID period. And Bo's really enjoyed doing it as well, and she will continue to do it.
That's lovely. Has she got anyone to go to as well?
She will, yeah, she does. Alexi, who's our operations director, is also equally amazing. And Alexi she runs the whole of the operation really for us. And Alexi, even our care workers, they know that they can walk in and speak to her at any time. She's very calm. Bo often leans on her as well. But yeah, Bo just thoroughly enjoys it. And she's got me and Paul if she wants to bend our ear, which they do.
I'm sure.
In fact, what we did do a few years ago is we put a box up in just outside our office, and it's only opened by the directors, and it's we just put on there everybody has a voice, because sometimes we in the past we had a manager, and she was kind of shutting down the carers, and we didn't know what was going on, and the retention rate wasn't great at that point, and it all led back to this one particular manager, which on the surface seemed lovely, fine, great, but actually she was very destructive to the business. And so we ended up putting a box in saying everybody has a voice. She left, obviously, but we wanted people to know they can say anything to us at any point. Paul and I are very open. You know, I would rather have problems delivered to us and told to us so we can address them straight away and find a solution, because there's always a solution to every problem.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah, really.
So could you tell me about your future plans for expansion, both in terms of, you know, new openings and financial growth?
Yeah, so basically we have the 3 branches still ourselves. We're in a growth industry. I think this year alone has done so much good for this industry. It's really highlighted in the media all the negatives about the industry, as in, you know, how people have suffered with COVID, and that's terrible, and the panic obviously that's set about. But it's a growth industry. It's really in the news. It's really in the media. We have an awful lot of interest across the UK, but also from abroad as well. So we've been speaking to people in Spain and Ireland and Australia. So yeah, I mean, we're really excited about the growth where it could take us. We're expecting to sell around about another 6 franchises this coming year. We're already speaking to another 2 potential people at the moment, and you never know where that will lead. So we're actually really excited. I think once we've got COVID out of the way as well, Paul and myself are really keen to get back on the road and go visiting our clients, our our franchisees, and actually helping them in their business, moving their business forward.
There's quite a lot of, like you say, there's growth in the market, and there's more people coming on into the sector. Big providers expanding out. Do you think there's a danger that eventually the market will be saturated, or do you think there's room for everybody?
To be honest, I think there is room for everybody. I think that when we first started in this area, we did a year of research prior to starting the business. And there were around about 18 providers in this area. We didn't have a clue about them when we needed it. Nobody told us. I think they weren't obviously marketing themselves very well, and also they were incredibly busy. So why should they market themselves? Because they were stacked out with social services. So it's one of my questions. It was one of the questions I give to the franchisees: do your own research as well. We do it for you, but also do your own research. Speak to the people. I think they think that there's going to be competition. That there is competition. There's some of the big providers that are, a lot of them are from America. We're obviously British, and we're proud to be British as well. I think there's enough room for everybody, as long as they're good, and as long as they constantly strive to improve what they're offering. We've got a massive elderly population, and it's only going to get bigger, and that people are coming out of care homes now, so obviously we've got that market to consider as well. People I know that are live inside of the service has really looked at expanding as well, because we're getting so many inquiries for live-ins now, whereas before it was maybe two every couple of months or one a month. Now we're kind of getting 3, 4 in that same period. So it's really improving that side of the business. So I just think, at least for the next 20 years, I just think I can't see any changes really.
Yeah, it seems to be a big trend, the growth of living care at the moment. I'm noticing that across the board. Yeah, so it's exciting.
It is really exciting. We're really in a very good marketplace, and we are really hopeful for that everybody will end up getting the care that they really deserve. That's really kind of like the main reason we started this, and to get it to as many towns, cities as we possibly can. But bearing in mind that they can make amazing differences to people in their own homes, and keep them in their own homes without having to pack a suitcase and take a TV and portable television into a nursing home and talk to people and just sit there watching the television. I know that a lot of care homes don't do that, and I know some amazing care homes, and I'm like, wow, they do so much, but there's a lot that don't. And it's really sort of like helping people to have options. Options are huge, and they need to be put in place so people can go, I want to do this, or I want to do this. It's letting people have the options when that's something we didn't have and we should have had.